people of fictitious ladies, it's me, I'm not dead. So I didn't make a video last week. First thing, read from a book. I'm reading from this book. It looks a bit like a Bible. It's not a Bible. It's Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide. I'm reading just the prologue from Hitchhiker's Guide. Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this, at a distance of roughly 98 million miles, is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended life forms are so amazingly primitive that they still think digital watches are a pretty neat idea. This planet has, or rather had, a problem, which was this. Most of the people living on it were unhappy for pretty much the time. Many solutions were suggested for this problem, but most of these were largely concerned with the movement of small green pieces of paper, which is odd because on the whole it wasn't the small green pieces of paper that were unhappy. And so the problem remained. Lots of people were mean, and most of them were miserable, even the ones with digital watches. Many were increasingly of the opinion that they'd all made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place, and some said that even the trees had been a bad move, and that no one should have ever left the oceans. And then one Thursday, nearly 2,000 years after one man had been nailed to a tree for saying how great it would be to be nice to people for a change, a girl sitting on her own in a small cafe in Rixensworth suddenly realized what it was that had been going wrong all this time, and she finally knew how the world could be made a good and happy place. This time it was right. It would work, and no one would have to get nailed to anything. Sadly, however, before she could get to a phone to tell anyone about it, a terrible, stupid catastrophe occurred, and the idea was lost forever. This is not her story. But it is the story of the terrible, stupid catastrophe and some of its consequences. It's also the story of a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Not an Earth book, never published on Earth, and until the terrible catastrophe occurred, never seen or even heard of by any Earthmen. Nevertheless, a wholly remarkable book. In fact, it was probably the most remarkable book to ever come out of the great publishing corporations of Ursa Minor, of which no Earthman had never heard either. Sorry, this is so long. Now, not only is it a wholly remarkable book, it's also a highly successful one, more popular than Celestial Home Care Omnibus, better selling than 53 More Things to Do in Zero Gravity, and more controversial than Oolong Kalufid's trilogy of philosophical blockbusters, Where God Went Wrong, some more of God's greatest mistakes, and Who is this God person anyway? In many of the more lax civilizations on the outer eastern rim of the galaxy, the Hitchhiker's Guide has already supplanted the great Encyclopedia Galactica, the standard repository of all knowledge and wisdom, for though it has many omissions and contains much that is apocryphal, or at least widely inaccurate, it scores over the older, more Protestant work in two important respects. First, it is slightly cheaper, and second, it has the words "Don't Panic" inscribed in large friendly letters on the cover. But this is the story of that terrible, stupid Thursday, and the story of its extraordinary consequences, and the story of how those consequences are inextricably intertwined with this remarkable book begins very simply. It begins with a house. And that is the prologue to this. I had already watched those videos, and then people didn't put their questions in the comments, so some of them I just... I don't think I have all the questions written down. If that's not terrible, it probably is. What do I buy a lot of and never use? I play the guitar, and to play the guitar, most people use picks. And so last year, what happened is I lose picks a lot. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy a whole bunch, and then I will never have to buy picks again. And I haven't had to buy picks for a very long time, but I have a lot, like crazy amount. Look at that. Look at that. I'm dropping picks. I'm probably just gonna edit this whole thing out. I'm gonna hate myself just for every time I move on this bed. Okay. When am I seeing that? I saw The Hunger Games yesterday, finally, because I was really busy. And I saw it, and I liked it a lot. Although there's like a couple things that really annoyed me. The one thing that annoyed me the most was that Madge didn't exist, and she becomes like important in the other ones. If you read the other ones, there's like the whole thing with her mom's sister. I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you've read the other ones, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you don't. I think it's only in the third one that she becomes important though. So that annoyed me. And then also, It's Katniss's mom, Prim, and Gale, more as characters also. Yeah. Also, Seneca Crane's beard. Oh, that if I had facial hair, that is what I would want. That is the best beard ever. The end. If I was to relive part of my life, which part would it be? I don't like really living part of my life, but I would relive, like, I think Karina said, I think she said that she would, like, the parts that I can't remember, because, like, my earliest memories are, like, kindergarten, sort of lame. So, yeah. My favorite hat. This type of hat. This type of hat here. This is my favorite type. I have a whole bunch of these. I have a gray one just like this, but it's not purple. And then I have a black and white, different, like, brand stuff. And they're fun, and I like. Favorite Pokemon. I didn't really play Pokemon. However, my favorite Pokemon would have to be Pikachu. Just because he's pretty awesome. If I were to marry a fictional character, I would marry except for the whole thing where he dies. Spoiler alert, by the way. I would marry Augustus Flutter from Tifios. Or I would marry Fiyero from Wicked. I'm pointing to my Wicked poster. I don't know if you can see it, but that is my Wicked poster. And pretty goddamn wicked. Oh, I've gone insane. Okay. What books do I have in my bag? I have none. Well, not like books for reading. I have school work. Actually, I think I have Romeo and Juliet, but that's because I'm reading that for school. But, however, I'm reading. I don't have the one I'm reading right now, but I have gotten extremely obsessed with this Death Note. I'm sort of lame, I know. I'm sort of really lame. But it's really good, and you should read it. Or watch it. I'm watching it and reading it because I'm really lame. But you can watch it on YouTube. It's all on YouTube. Just search it. And you probably won't. I'm perfectly okay with that. Also, I would marry Elle, who's like human. Or light. No. I'd marry Elle. If I were to write a letter to my future self, I don't know if Ashley's going to get a video up, but that with her challenge that she made, this would be my letter. I should probably write it, but I'm just going to pretend I wrote it. So let's just pretend I've written a letter on this index card. Well, in fact, I'm making it up as I go. Okay. Dear future Julia, how's life? I hope it's good. I really hope you're not dead. Because, I mean, that would sort of suck. Because then I'd be dead. Now we've gotten past the point of us agreeing that you're not dead. Do you have, what are you doing with your life? Are you a music producer? Do you still want to be a music producer? Are you a film music producer? What are you doing? What's your job? Do you have a boyfriend? If so, is he hot? I'm assuming you'll say yes, but, I mean, are you still friends with people, like the people that you're friends with? I'm guessing probably no. Probably not. I'm hoping you're still friends with some of them, but I don't know. So, please? Want to give me any spoilers? I mean, I love spoilers. Also, is Doctor Who still on? I really hope so. You can tell my River Song spoiler. That's my line of thought there. So lame. As my parents cook, which you can probably hear. Goodbye, DFTBA, adios. Have fun with life. My question for you is, do you spend time outside? No, that's not my question for you. Scratch that question for you. My question for you, what is a weird obsession that, you have? My weird obsession is fonts. And I have a lot of fonts on my computer. And for Christmas, I got this poster board thing. Oh my gosh, this is 15 minutes. Goodbye, people. I'm sorry.